keep your tickets safe. You will be needing those tickets to come back down. Thank you.
This is my home now.
Okay, you all have your tickets, right? I have mine, you have yours.
Andre has them all. Nice try. Andre wouldn't do us very well.
0.5. There you go. Yeah.
You should get in there and look over here, sir.
I will.
She doesn't fall too. That's why she doesn't fall. You're not cry. There's others. I like this hat. Fall for things.
Nice long drop off.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, my cousin told me.
How was your meeting? I love you so much.
You guys. Or like Carolina, they jump out of place.
This is why everybody said it's cloudy, not bothering, so whatever's here.
Yeah, but this will be okay.
Oh yeah, this is fine.
We walked those last 20
Are you alone?
when we were here.
Huh?
When we started with
Oh, I thought maybe you're alone. Oh.
Whatever you want. And I'll be back here by 4. So you don't have to all go as a group. You can go.
2 hours.
This is about 2. So at 4, we'll take the cake.
Are they talking to us? Are they saying at 4 we're coming back?
Oh, I think
Oh.
you're mistaking me for someone else.
Okay. Wow. Hi.
Mind taking me some few pictures?
Oh, okay, I don't mind. Wait.
I don't know.
What time are we going back? Anytime when it comes.
When are you, maybe, when are you going down?
I'm not quite sure. Because I'm taking the video now.
Oh, you just take the video when you're done, I'll come.
Huh?
Taking the video when you are done, I'll come.
Oh, you'll
Yeah.
be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go past my head splitting to one of you. Yes, it's you. You're on that.
Good.
Oh, something's gonna happen. Karma's a bitch. Just throw it
I
out.
know, that's what I'm saying. I already know what's gonna happen. Nice job.
Thank you.
How was it?
Died, but that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. Let her know.
Yeah.
What?
What? Oh.
Oh, yeah, do
Rip
it.
your
But,
pants.
but you have to
My
do
ass is hanging out of my pants currently.
But what he did before was say that and then
Run away. I ripped your pants.
And then he took it off. It was like a Doppler effect.
I was testing to see if you'd actually chase me and like go Hurricane Heather on me, and then you didn't. It shows that, you know, you're a compassionate person.
It wasn't in the script.
It wasn't in the script. We didn't read the script.
I have some videos of me like screaming at my boyfriend.
So, Allie, I have video of
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I have some videos.
Looks nice.
That's why I got stuck on a branch on the rock.
Assalamu alaikum.
She's watching her car.
साइंस क्या जब एरोप्लेन के अंदर आपको वाईफाई मिल रहा है
35,000 रुपए.
Alright, well I'll give you another shot so you'll get a little panorama. But I love you guys.
So maybe it's a set time to get back on the cable car since we got tickets to come and go. We can just find out.
Frisky, huh?
That's what he said, but there could be an earlier time that you can get on there, right?
Cars probably just roll. I'm sure they just come up and down.
Most of them went further down to do this for themselves because we used to have about 6,000 to 8,000 people on a daily basis before COVID. So people will sit here, have some picnics, you know, some private functions happening here. They will throw chips, bananas, oranges everywhere. So these guys would just enjoy that food from there. They wouldn't really bother themselves going, you know, eating from the plants. So when we came back, yeah, we were looking. So today to spot one of them, it's like spotting the leopard of the big five. Because you can spot all of them, but for the leopard you have to really look around over the trees and stuff like that. So I was very lucky. Even yesterday I was trying to look with one family, we couldn't see a thing. And it was foggy and misty up here. So today they are all out enjoying the sun. you know. So you see all of them playing around here, eating from these plant species. But just in general, the plant species that we see all over here, the mountain, from here down to Cape Point, they are known as fynbos species, and they are well known for medical purposes. The most famous remedy for these plant species is the rooibos tea. It's part of these plant species, but it's not dominant on the mountain. We find it more on the west coast side. It's about 45 minutes drive out of Cape Town. There's an area called Cedar Bay. That's where they do this rooibos tea packaging and then deliver to each and every shop or supermarket. All right. Then if we look down to this mountain range here, this is the mountain known as the 12 Apostles mountain range. There are about 18 peaks altogether, but because at some point Cape Town was known as the Cape of Stone, that's during the time of Bartholomew Diaz and Vasco da Gama, that's about 1488. So when they gave the name Cape of Stones, because of the shipwrecks that took place on this side of South Africa, Cape Town, so they gave the name Cape of Stones. But they said there was a shipwreck that took place just on the slope of this mountain. But fortunately enough, everyone on that ship survived. So the captain of the ship decided to say they were guided and protected by Jesus and the 12 apostles. So that's how the mountain got its name. But there are about 18 peaks, and each and every one of these peaks got name, ranging from Kloof Corner all the way to Hout Bay Corner over there. That peak that is sticking out, that will be Hout Bay Corner. And if you're looking for best fish and chips in Cape Town, Hout Bay is the place to be. Nice and fresh, because they go out right at the harbor. They go out in the morning fishing, they come back. By the time you get there, they are open, it's nice and fresh. They serve it to you like that. For also, if you are interested into like seals and stuff like that, there's a seal island on Hout Bay side. So you can take a boat around that island there to see all those seals.
You went yesterday.
Oh, were you there?
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Great. And Cape Point?
Uh-huh.
You were there also?
Yeah.
And how were baboons there?
We didn't see any there.
Why?
The baboons?
The Chakma baboons?
We didn't see them at the Cape Point. We saw them when we were down by the penguin, the boulders.
Boulders big
Yeah.
side. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Because they're all over from that area going down to Cape Point. But they became naughty these days because people started feeding them.
Yeah.
And not walk with the plastic there with food.
Yep.
They come grab,
With the baboons.
and the moment you start resisting, then that's where in Cape Point, from boulders going down, you get those Chakma baboons. They even one, I saw a video recently about the one, it's called the Cook Monster. So there's a factory that makes your biscuits, your muffins and stuff like that. So people will stop by and then go out with that plastic. The guy just come grab, then sit on the rock, eat, waiting for the next customer to go in, coming out with the plastic, he grab again. And they were not supposed to be eating stuff like that. Naturally, they feed from the ocean. They're supposed to be eating the seaweed and whatever that is there at the ocean there. But the whole behavior changed now over the years. They even go into people's house.
Yeah.
You know, bang, 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 the window. Once it's open, the whole crew comes in. They just mess up, especially if there's no one.
Yeah.
So most of the guys that stays on the slope of this mountain going further to Cape Point, they now invested into paintball guns. So whenever that groups come, then they start shooting with paintball. But there's a whole division now between the community. You know, there's activists that says, look, these guys, they should be here. This is their home. We're the one who came and built homes here.
Yep.
So you can't really buy guns and shoot them. Then the other one, but they are missing out. You know, stuff like that. So there's a whole debate among the people in those communities, like in Groot Constantia, going down that side. There's a whole debate, more especially on the Tukai side, because there's a big forest. They are all over that forest. All right, so we can head towards the side.
Do you have photos of the penguins? Oh yeah, I'll show you them in a minute.
Sure.
Lots of photos.
I was there about a week ago, but the weather was not so nice. It was cold, so I just picked up and then I went.
Left.
Yeah.
There's lots of babies right now.
कंपनी का तांगो साढ़े से परेशानी करना है इससे बचते हैं छोटे दोनों ही बड़े
Yeah, guys, please, at some point stop me. Sometimes I get carried away. So if I do too much talking, you stop me there and then, yeah, we carry on. All right, we can touch any of the rocks, guys, that we see here on the mountain. The 3 types of rocks that are found on top of Table Mountain. The top layer of the mountain is made out of sandstone. Then the second layer of the mountain is made out of shellstone. Then the core part of the mountain is made out of Cape granite. As you can see, this one here is the sandstone. So the mountain is believed to be the oldest mountain in the world. It's estimated to be plus minus 500 million years. And the core and the sand, which are the indigenous people of the land, used to refer to it as Orukwaho, which means the mountain of the sea or the mountain from the sea. Hence, you see this combination here. So when that volcanic process took place and then the continents started separating from one another, that's where Table Mountain came about. I'm sure coming up with the cable car, you've noticed it's like layers, 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 all the way to the top. So the water level started dropping to all the way to the Castle of Good Hope in the city. That's where Table Mountain came about. And some people believe that the water was moving southeasterly, and at some point Cape Town would have been in Brazil, or Brazil in Rio de Janeiro would have been this side in Cape Town. But the men above decide, look, you have Cape Town, give them Rio de Janeiro there. Because that whole setup, if you look at Rio, they've got the Mount Sugarloaf over there, and then they've got Copacabana Beach at the bottom. We've got Table Mountain over here, and then we've got Camps Bay caved in on that side. So the whole setup is more or less the same. More special if you drive via Champions Peak Drive to Cape Point, you can see where exactly, you know, the mountain started breaking to that side. But yeah, the men above it made a good decision. Otherwise, yeah, what if this Cape Town was on that side? Yeah,
ਸਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਦੱਸਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਾਲ ਬੜਾ ਇਤਫਾਕ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਯਾਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਦਿਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ
they're all over the show. I'm sure in Cape Point you saw them as well. These black bears over here, they are known as the red-winged starling. So when they fly, the orange wings show up, but they are known as the red-winged starling. And yeah, over here we've got the mountain aloe. That's one of the also important plants in the fynbos species. Like I said earlier on, that all these plant species are well known for medical purposes. Back then in the days, there were no clinics and hospitals and stuff like that, but the core and the sand people knew exactly what plant to mix with what plant in order to make their homemade remedy. So this one, look, it's dominant. You find it in 2 provinces in the whole of South Africa. Western Cape as well as the Eastern Cape. So where I grew from in the Eastern Cape, it's all over there. You get it in even our backyards. So whenever I complain about my stomach, my granny will just pick a piece, put it in the warm water, let it absorb a bit, then drink it. It's not nice, it's bitter, but you know at the end of the day you'll be okay. And you can use it as a sunscreen as well. Let's say you decide to hike on a hot day, then you forgot your sunscreen at home, you can always apply that gel over there to cover all the places that are exposed into the sun. Then it will protect you, even for your skin problems, or you've got a cut, you want your skin to recover nicely, you apply that gel over there, and then it will help you recover there nicely. All right, we can go towards the side, but that's where we're gonna see the whole map of the Cape Peninsula from here down to Cape Point. And for years, people have been saying 2 oceans meet at Cape Point, but it's always been a understanding or a bit of confusion because of that 2 Oceans restaurant that is there at Cape Point. But 2 Oceans do not meet at Cape Point. They meet right at the Cape Agulhas. As you move out of Cape, it's a 5-hour drive all the way down to Cape Point. Cape Agulhas, that's where they meet. Here, we're all surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean. But because of the restaurant that is found at Cape Point, the 2 Oceans restaurant, people always thought that that's where the 2 oceans meet. Cape Point is the most southwesterly point of Africa, and we've got Atlantic Ocean on this side, we've got Atlantic Ocean on this side. But if you come to Camps Bay side, the water is super cold. You see majority of the people are seated just on the sand side, playing volleyball, enjoying picnics and stuff like that. But if you come this side of Muizenberg, Kalkal Bay, and where the penguins are, you'll find people in the water, they're swimming, because the water is a bit warmer compared to this side. So two things that made it Cape Point is the cold Benguela current as well as the warm Mozambique current. But here, the southeasterly point of Africa, which is the Cape Agalas, that's where the two oceans will meet. At Cape Agalas, it's a 5-hour drive out of Cape Town. As if you go to George Nice now on the Garden Route, that's where two oceans meet. All right, however, this is where we are at the height of 1,067 meters high. And then from here, Kloof Corner, all the way down to Hout Bay Corner, that's the 12 Apostles mountain range. And then just on the slope of Table Mountain, you've got your Kirstenbosch Botanical Gardens. If you're more interested into flowers, all these plant species that we have here, at Kirstenbosch, they've got them like put it in different sections, and then each plant has got a placard where you can read more information about it. Then this is the whole area of the Cape Flats. I'm sure you've noticed from the airport coming into town, that big informal settlement over there, that's the whole Cape Flats area. It's called Cape Flats because it's on a flat landscape, not because of the type of houses they've got there, just because it's on a flat landscape. Other than that, way before the Cape Flats was formed, it's because of the result of the Area Groups Act, where people were segregated according to their race, culture, religion, and so on. So, okay, this area is for Africans only, this area is for whites only, and so on. So they were moved for more special people of District 6. About 1960s, their homes were demolished, and then they were forcibly moved to a small farm called Ndabeni around here. It was type of a concentration camp of an arrangement. Then it also got overcrowded, and then people started moving. That what resulted to the formation of this township Langa, which means the sun. And then while Langa got overcrowded, people kept on moving. They started this one here, which is Nyanga, which means the moon. You know, but back then this was a men-only area. Women and children were not allowed, and even those men that were staying there were known as migrant laborers, so they had to carry their pass wherever they go. So if they come into the city, they come for work, by 5 o'clock everyone needs to be out, and if they get you in the city here without a pass, then you are arrested. You know, then people are migrating on a daily basis from the neighboring countries. People are migrating from other provinces. So it started expanding, and it has now become very big township. Khayelitsha here, which means the new home. It is one of the biggest township that we have here in the Western Cape, which forms top 3 of townships that we have here in South Africa. You've got Johannesburg there in Soweto, that's number 1. You've got Mdantsane in the Eastern Cape, that's the second biggest one. Then you've got Khayelitsha here in the Western Cape, which is the 3rd biggest township. And most of these areas are all informal. Like there was no planning that, okay, it will be a settlement. People just saw a piece of land and then they collected whatever material they have and then they start building. More special with COVID, most people lost their jobs. Most people couldn't afford rent at all. Then people started moving. Seeing a piece of land they occupy, and most of this land are wetlands during our winter month, because we experience a Mediterranean climate. So our summers are dry and hot, but our winter are very wet and mild. So during winter time, all these areas here are just covered with water. See people scooping water out of their homes, because there was never a proper planning to say we're gonna make this place a place to stay people. So there's no drainage system, and most of this piece of land is sandy. So the water doesn't really go into it, stays there and then it stays wet. All right. And then guys, from here down, that's the Table Mountain National Park. Then you've got Lion's Head here at the height of 669 meters. Then you've got Signal Hill at the height of 350 meters high. That's where the noon gun goes off on a daily basis to indicate to everyone in the city it is afternoon, it is 12 o'clock. But back in the days, it was a signal for the guys that were working here in Company Gardens that there's a ship approaching, so get your fruit and veggies and water ready and come trade with these guys over here. Because the arrival of Jan van Riebeeck in 1652 was accidental in Cape Town. Their destination was India because they were busy trading with spice, sugar, some materials and stuff like that. But they decided to come this side to set up a refreshment station so that when they pass going to India, they will stop here, get those stuff, and then get going once again. Only after 5 years, that's where they decided to stay. They went about to build the Castle of Good Hope. That's about 1666. That's where the castle was completed, and then they started fighting among the indigenous people. So some resisted the land disposition and so on. Then the British came. Then there was a first war, the War of Muizenberg, and that was their first occupation. Then they came again in 1806. That's where they defeated the Dutch. Then the whole of South Africa was under the British control. All right. And yeah, these are the cities in the world, guys. Maybe you can look for your city there and their distance in miles and kilometers. The guys from the States, you've got your New York here, your Washington, D.C., Chicago. Yeah, there's quite a lot of them. The distance is there. All right. Okay, we can go towards the viewing deck and see the whole Cape Town city. Yes, they need to train you, and you must go through the Department of Tourism to obtain this, and then you become a qualified guide. Yes. All right, and there was a time also where they said day zero was coming to Cape Town. We didn't have our normal rain, winter. So everyone was crossing fingers, hey, we're not gonna have water. What we're gonna do now? And majority of our water is in the ocean. And unfortunately, we don't have that much money like the United Emirates, where they can clean the water from the ocean and make it drinkable. So they had to find ways, because whenever temperature drops here, the cold and the warm air mixing together, they form the big cloud, which later we call it the tablecloth. So they introduced this fog harvesting plant over here. There's a net in between those two poles. So whenever that clouds move over, then they start collecting those small drops of water, trying to fill up that small tank. But it's still part of the experiment where the guys from the city and the environmentalists, they come and test the water and see how far the tank is going. Maybe in future we'll have a much bigger tank somewhere around the mountain to collect as much, because our dam levels started dropping since then. But fortunate enough, there was a rain for a couple of times, and we were still good. All right. We're in Langa Township. Yes. Look, they are the most affected people. Because whenever crises like that happen, they find out the water is like areas, water, this whole system is all about class. Yeah, it's all about class. So the hierarchy start from there, and then they are at the receiving end. So it must not affect, the elite. It should start right at the bottom. So most of them started investing in those Jojo tanks to collect the rainwater. Then they can use it to drink, but they boil it first. Then they will use it for washing, cleaning, and stuff like that. One just over here. Yeah, it's a black grilled lizard. There's about 3 types of them on the mountain. But since I started this morning 7:30, I didn't spot one. This is my very first one for the day. So they are all over here, especially on a hot day, especially the blue-headed ones. You see jumping from one rock to another. At some point they will do some push-ups. But you've got a bigger one, which is camouflage, it's with yellow and black hair. It's called the Southern Rock Cow. It likes to sit up underneath the rock. Yeah, whenever it's hot, you just sit there in one spot, then move into another rock. But today, yeah, just that one that I saw. The rest, maybe they're still sleeping. Yeah, because it was cold yesterday. Misty, you couldn't see a thing. And then when it started clearing up, all that cold wind coming from the ocean was coming because we had a northeasterly wind blow. So that wind from the ocean just couldn't even do my tour standing there. It comes straight in your face and then your tears start running. Yeah. Yesterday was not a good one. Even though I had 3 jackets, today I've got 2 at least. Yesterday I had 3. This one, and then another big one. You know.
And you were still cold?
I was still cold. I don't know how many cups of coffee I had yesterday. Yeah. I'm sure none of us is afraid of heights, eh? Yeah, because once we get to this spot and then you see everyone is going like this. Yeah, but yeah, like to know what. Okay, I think it's best if we start from this side and then we move to this side. The mountain over here, it's the one I said, it's Lion's Head, sitting right at the height of 669 meters high. If you combine it with Signal Hill over there, it shows a picture of a lion laying down watching over the city. That's the only reason it's called Lion's Head. But you hear another narrative that says the last lion spotted around the Cape was killed on that mountain. But my question is, how many lions were roaming around back then in the days? So I always have this box of matches with me just to demonstrate to everyone. If you look at this lion on the matches and then you look at the mountain combining with Signal Hill all the way to the stadium, that's where the tail will be. That's why they call it Lion's Head. Alright. Then if you look down into the ocean there, that's Robben Island. It's about 11 kilometers away from the mainland. It's a 30 minutes ferry ride from the blue roofs over there. That's the V&A waterfront. They run also scheduled trips. I think there's one for 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And then the last one coming back is at 4. Alright. And that's where Nelson Mandela was. He spent about 18 years on Robben Island. Then he was moved to Paulsmo on this side, in Dugai side. He spent 7 years there, and then from there they moved him to Victor Fenster in Dragonstein. As if you go to Stellenbosch, that's where he spent another 2 years. But when you combine all these years together, they amount up to 27 years. So he didn't really spend 27 years on Robben Island. He was only 18 there. Then they moved him around because it was that process of negotiations where they were now negotiating towards a democratic South Africa. Alright, and if we come back, that's Cape Town Stadium over there, which was built for the 2010 FIFA World Cup, but today it hosts a number of events. We had rugby sevens playing there, we had a number of concerts taking place there, even soccer games, because we've got a local team called City of Cape Town FC. Whenever they host other teams, they will host them there. Oh, that one on that side, just between those two mountains, anchors over there, that's Athlone Stadium. That's where they will play that side or this side. Alright, and the mountain over here, it's known as Devil's Peak. Devil's Peak, basically, they've created a story saying that there was a Dutch sailor by the name Van Hans who used to smoke a pipe. So the wife was not happy because he used to smoke in the house. Then the house would smell like a pipe, right? Even if he cleans. Then she decided to tell him to smoke. So he would hike up and sweet and smoke. But the whole story is trying to narrate the whole process of evaporation, condensation, where the warm air and cold air mixing together and start building clouds on top of that mountain. Then the in all of Castle of Good Hope, the very first building to be built in the whole of Cape Town. That's why even Cape Town is known as the mother city, because development started here and then it moved right through to other provinces. So that was the first building to be built, and it is the oldest standing building in the whole of South Africa. But today it's a museum. You can visit and learn more about the first interaction of the indigenous people as well as the Dutch and the wars that took place between the Dutch and the British. They've got a specific room there that is made a museum. It's called the Military Museum, where the Dutch forces are displayed as well as the British forces are displayed. Then if we move there, you go towards the right hand side. There's an area with white buildings there, or white flats. That's where District 6 used to be. That's where their homes were demolished, and they were moved further. That's where it resulted in the formation of the Cape Flats area I was talking about. From the airport all the way down. People used to stay here, and some of them at the V&A waterfront, but they were all regarded as migrant laborers. So when those laws were introduced, and then they were firstly moved to that side. But that's a long process, because guys are still claiming the generations of people that stay here. They put papers in courts to claim that, okay, we used to stay here, our grandparents grew up here. So is the government going to return us here, or is there any form of conversation that's always been that high. Yeah, just they made it with those star-shaped corners so that they can be able to spot any ship coming in. Because remember, they regarded everyone else coming into the cave as an enemy. So there will be guys stationed in all those corners to look for anyone coming. Yeah. And then from the Castle of Good Hope, ocean used to end there. That's why the strait that is passing there is called Strand Strait. Because in Afrikaans, when you say strand, you mean the ocean. So they claim the land, or the reclamation of the land from the ocean, using some of the rocks and stones from the mountain, pushing the ocean away. Even there where there's that commercial harbor, they used to be a wood store. Otherwise, people of wood store used to just walk into that and start swimming and enjoying themselves. But they claim that piece of land to build what we have today. Even the highest building in Cape Town, Sky Hotel, it's built on that claim land. Cape Town Station on the claim land. Everywhere you see from the castle, go to the harbor. It's all built on a claim land. Alright. Sure. And look, these plant species are addictive, and they've been affected by fires. During our summers, we have lots of wild mountain fires and so on. But the plants have adapted in that situation. So for them to complete their life cycle, they need fire. Yes, because when they burn, they throw seeds everywhere. And then that's where they will rejuvenate, and then they will grow much bigger and better once they get that fire. But we don't promote unnecessary fires. We always do control fires. For example, at the bottom, I'm sure you saw that big piece of land that has been burned recently. We had every stakeholder on board, like the Silver guys, the firefighters, some of the management here, just to look at it while they are busy burning. And they will cut some of the parts so that it doesn't spread.
Yes.
So they will monitor that area for 2-3 days and make sure that everything is sorted. Then from then, let's say 6 to a year, and then they will move to another part, just to make sure they don't disturb the ecosystem as well. Because we've got quite a lot of animals on the mountain, the dassies, the snakes, like your Cape Cobra, your boomslang, the mongoose. There's quite a lot. It's just that they're not showing each other. They not show up today after a very cold day. But even with our snakes, you don't really see them on the path. But the moment you go off path, that's where you might get a surprise. So they are all over the mountain here. But we have a snake handler. Whenever spot one in the path, you just report. Then report the guy where he come, get the snake, and go put it elsewhere where people don't go. Because it's a national park, so we can't really kill these guys. See, this one's about what? 3 to 4 months ago, but it started right on the other side from the hiking trails. Probably one of the hikers took a break, started smoking, just threw the cigarette back like that. Then we just saw a big smoke coming. I was like, hey, what's going on? Then we went to check and we see no, there's fire. So we have to evacuate everyone close to the building, then bring the firefighter guys up here. Then they managed to just control it, but there were parts where they couldn't reach by foot. So they had to wait for the helicopter to come and assist them. And they don't use the seawater. Sorry. And they don't use the seawater. They use some of the water here in one of the oldest water reservoirs. Because with that salt in that water, it might kill some of these animals. So they don't use the seawater. That's about it from my side, guys. So if you still gonna be walking around, you can stay on the path. If you follow this side, it's gonna take you in a full circle. Then it will bring you back where we started our tour. Yeah. All right. Have a good one. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.